Friends, we've got ourselves a real humdinger on our hands. The Donald is at it again, slapping a whopping 25% tariff on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. He says it's to combat unfair trade practices, but the market ain't buying it. This ain't no small potatoes, folks. We're talking about a full-blown trade war, and the market is reacting like a scared kitten. The Dow Jones took a nosedive, plunging over 2,200 points, its worst drop since that nasty pandemic crash. The S&P 500 is singing the blues too, down almost 6%. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq? Forget about it. It's officially entered bear market territory, shedding a gut-wrenching 12%. Even those Asian markets are feeling the heat, extending the sell-off like a bad game of hot potato. Now Trump's saying he doesn't want to see the market crash. He even compared the situation to taking bitter medicine. But his economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, is singing a different tune. He's saying the Donald's just looking out for the American worker. Who are we supposed to believe here? The truth is, nobody really knows what's going on in that head of his. But one thing's for sure, this tariff tantrum is creating more uncertainty than a game of roulette. And the market hates uncertainty more than a vegetarian hates a steakhouse. Hold on to your wallets, folks, because this tariff turmoil is about to hit you right where it hurts. Your wallet. Those cheap Chinese imports you love? Yeah, they're about to get a whole lot pricier. We're talking about everything from electronics and clothes to car parts and toys, and let's not forget about those everyday essentials that seem to be creeping up in price already. But it's not just consumers who are going to feel the pinch. American companies, especially those reliant on Chinese manufacturing, are sweating bullets. Those tariffs are going to eat into their profits like termites in a wooden house. And we all know what happens when corporate profits take a hit. Job losses, wage stagnation, and a whole lot of economic uncertainty. The experts are already sounding the alarm bells. They're warning that these tariffs could send shockwaves through the entire global economy, triggering a recession the likes of which we haven't seen in years. And let's be honest, folks, the global economy is about as stable as a house of cards in a hurricane right now. We can't afford another hit. Big businesses, especially those tech giants and manufacturers, are running for cover like cockroaches in a dirty kitchen. They're worried sick about supply chain disruptions and skyrocketing costs. And who can blame them? These tariffs are like a monkey wrench thrown into the gears of global trade. Take Apple, for instance. Their stock took a 5% hit the minute this tariff news dropped. Why? Because they're practically joined at the hip with Chinese manufacturing, and it's not just Apple. We're talking about every major company that relies on Chinese factories. And let's be honest, that's a lot of them. Even the big-shot investors are starting to sweat. Billionaire Bill Ackman, a guy who knows a thing or two about making money, came right out and said it. Trump's lost the confidence of the business world. And when those big investors start getting nervous, you know it's bad news bears for the rest of us. This whole situation is like a bad game of chicken, with the US and China playing a dangerous game of brinkmanship. The stakes are high, the tension is palpable, and nobody seems to know how this thing is going to end. So what can we do to weather this tariff-induced storm? Well, the first rule of investing is always the same. Don't panic. Easier said than done, I know. But panicking is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It'll only make things worse. Take a deep breath, assess the situation, and then make your moves. One thing you can do is diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially not one that's made in China. Spread your investments across different asset classes and geographies. That way, if one area takes a hit, the others can cushion the blow. Another strategy is hedging. Now, hedging is a bit more complicated, but basically, it's like buying insurance for your investments. You use financial instruments like options and futures to protect yourself against losses. It's not a surefire thing, but it can help you sleep better at night. But more importantly, stay informed. Keep your finger on the pulse of the market. Watch those economic indicators like a hawk. And most importantly, pay attention to what's happening with these trade negotiations. Because the future of the market and your portfolio depends on it. Remember, folks, investing in the stock market is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be bumps in the road, storms to weather, and yes, even tariff tantrums to contend with. But with a little bit of knowledge, a healthy dose of caution, and maybe a stiff drink or two, we can all come out on top. Stay informed, stay diversified, and most importantly, stay sane.